that by actually having a shorter fight, Mblit takes out the round here.
What the what's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk a little bit about the Summoner Showdown 2021 that just concluded this morning. There's going to be a lot of spoilers in here, by the way. If you have not watched the tourney, you might want to go watch that before watching this video, as I explain what made me rage while watching the showdown. Like, I actually had to pause the Summoner Showdown, just get up and walk away before I can continue watching. I found myself getting that frustrated over the way the tournament itself was ran, for a number of reasons. And I'm just going to try to focus in on one specific aspect of the tournament that just felt like it undermined the whole damn thing, man. We're going to focus on that in this video. But before I do get into that, listen, I do want to, give a shout out and give a credit to the 9 participants that even qualified for this thing. Just qualifying for this tournament, that's a huge feat in itself. And then an especially big shout out to Happy McMuffins for not only qualifying, but making it through the semis, into the finals, and winning the whole damn thing. Was so close to winning last year. This year came back and crushed it, which makes for a great storyline. But again, there were certain aspects of this tournament that were just ridiculous, man. And I am gonna talk specifically here about the Americas semifinals between Imble, Happy McMuffins, and Wareham. And I don't, it's really difficult for me to come up with the right words to not kind of, step on the victory here that Happy McMuffins had, because I like Happy McMuffins, and going into the tournament, he was kind of, my favorite going into it. If I had to put some money down, at least, I would have bet on Happy. And watching the tournament play out, I do feel like his strategies were a bit stronger than others. His gameplay was phenomenal. So, he still deserved to win, okay? But the way that this tournament played out, it's even if we could say that one player was definitively better than another, which we can't, that's not how tournaments work. Tournaments work on a small, limited number of matches, and any one of these 3 could have easily, won these semis and then went on to win the whole tournament, or any of the 9 players, they could have won the entire tournament. But what I want to focus on is just how these matches were actually scored. Something that is so important, so crucial for a competitive anything. It's just how, what's the scoring like? So let's get into that. We're gonna look at these fights individually here, and I actually want to start out with Wareham versus Imble. Wareham is using Miles Morales against Imble's Punisher 2099. So let's take a look at this first fight here.
Yeah, we're getting into it here with Wareham.
And actually, I should point out that this fight in itself had a few different issues to it. Or there's just 2, really. One is the scoring, which we'll get to. And then the other, Miles Morales is actually bugged here, where if the opponent has an unblockable special, Miles Morales, he shouldn't get hit by it. When he goes invisible, should not get hit. Kabam acknowledged the bug on the forums, specifically related to this tournament. So all that damage that Wareham just took, it should not have taken. Because of that, and because of how difficult the nodes are and everything, it's not going to survive much longer. And Punisher 29 gets the best of him, and Punisher only got down to 96% health. Okay, probably not going to be that tough to beat. But let's actually check out the next fight here. And this is going to be Imble using I-Bomb versus Ebony Maw. So let's see how this fight goes.
We got Imble going in with the Immortal Abomination. I think he's a great pick for this node. He wants to have the poisons on himself, so he's actually using Super Masochism to his own advantage. Let's see how he can handle this Maw, though.
Don't blink.
Yeah,
we're going to see some big damage coming out of Maw.
It's just going to be a little bit tough for him because he's going to have to get those heavy attacks, and he just does not have.
Here it is.
Oh,
he gets clipped by the special too.
Oh, no! Woo! Oh man, Ebony Maw. This guy, he's no noodle, man. That special too, devastating. Like, just to put this in a little bit of perspective here, class disadvantage against a high health champion, and just one shot with that special too. That's it. It was a wrap, man. So yeah, Ebony Maw is a force to be reckoned with in the solo competitive mode. And unfortunately, I'm Black could only take Ebony Maw down to 99%. So even though the previous fight, you know, can only get him down to 96%, hey, that's still better, right? Well, let's continue on. Let's hear the results of the first match from the commentators.
With the falter and gets melted. Oh man, that was a super fast fight. You know,
Yeah.
Wereworm didn't have a great time in his fight either.
Yeah, this is going to be cutting down to the wire. Looking at the stats here, though, it does look like Einble will take round 1 because his fight actually was shorter.
Oh, what?
So you do get score based off of how long you are in the fight. So the shorter the fight you get, the more points you get in that category. And their HP was so close that by actually having a shorter fight, Einble takes out the round here.
What the f? Let's go back. I want to see the scoring again because that is ridiculous here. Like, because the fight was faster, because iBomb got shredded, absolutely destroyed by Maw's Special 2, more points were awarded for dying faster. How does that make any sense? How is that supposed to be any kind of demonstration of skill? How is this supposed to be a competitive thing? You're supposed to die quickly in order to win? It makes no sense, man. And it would be one thing if, like, okay, this is just some bizarre fluke, some little oversight in a situation that, you know, was unlikely to happen and just happened once throughout the tournament. But guess what? It's not just going to happen once. I'm gonna hide my face here for just a sec before we move on, though, just to really show the score difference. So you can see the total score is up here. Then we have the fight duration score, and then we have the score for health remaining on the attacker, and then defender health remaining as well. And you can see here that well, in the case of iBomb versus Ebony Maw, only 170 points out of the, you know, nearly 4,400 came from that 1% of damage dealt. But again, because got annihilated by that Special 2 so quickly, look how many points were given for a fast fight duration. It's mind-blowing to me that the scoring system was set up this way. In my opinion, this fight easily goes to Wererim, the Miles Morales player, and we did again have a forum post that I'm going to show you guys real quick here. Bug in Summoner Showdown, America's semifinals. Let me read this post. It's not that long. It says, "Hey all, in today's Summoner Showdown, a bug affected the outcome of the fight for one of our competitors. During a match, Wererim uses Spider-Man Miles Morales as his attacker, but a bug caused him to take a hit when invisible. This hit should have missed. If you remember when Miles Morales update first went live, this bug was live for all players but was quickly fixed. Unfortunately, this fix did not make its way up to the server on which Summoner Showdown is taking place. This bug was not caught until the series was over, but due to the fact that we do not believe it would have changed the outcome in selecting the winner, we did not redo the series. We have apologized to Wererim and are looking into rematch technology for future showdowns." Okay, so when I first saw this post, which I believe was linked by the official, MCOC YouTube channel, which of course all of these matches are, being hosted on that channel. I checked out the post and, first instincts, of course, you just feel bad for who was affected by this Wererim, right? But okay, like I kind of just took it at face value that, okay, if it wouldn't have changed the outcome in selecting the winner, I get it. Why I wouldn't redo the series really sucks, but what are you going to do? I guess just move on, right? But then after talking to one of the other competitors in the showdown and just thinking about it more, and especially after rewatching the series to see how all the scoring worked, like the more I watched, the just more frustrated I got at how the situation was handled for a few reasons. Number one, Kabam should have taken this as an excuse to redo the whole damn series as much as possible and just do away with that crappy scoring system. Number two, what do you mean it wouldn't have changed the outcome in selecting the winners? How do you even know that? just thinking back to, like, you know, my Alliance War season fights this season, I had a particularly rough start to the season where the first half I died like 4 times. I finished out the season without dying after that rough start, but dude, just having that poor start to the season, that affected every single match, even the fights that I was confident in, even the easy matches, the gimmies. I was going in there stressing, like, dude, I can't die again. I do not want to die again. Do not want to give up another death in war. And that's just Alliance War. Like, yeah, there's pressure in war, but can you imagine being in the Summoner Showdown, a tournament where only 9 people competed, a tournament where you're putting your name out there, you're putting your face out there for players to see, and your gameplay for players to critique, and you want to perform your best. There's already so much pressure going into it, but then to lose when it's not your fault in 2 different ways, again, the scoring being one of them, and then this bug being the other, just to start out down a round just immediately as soon as you get your shot at playing the tournament. Dude, what do you think that does to your mental well-being for going throughout the tournament? How do you know that it's not going to change who actually won the match? Even if the series was redone, that kind of focus being derailed, like, it wouldn't have completely washed it away, but it would have done a lot to help. So it absolutely should have been redone. And then, like I said, you know, the players, they're putting their names out there, they're putting their faces out there. This is the internet. Guess what? Haters exist. And I definitely saw some comments during the live streams. I wasn't really paying attention specifically for anyone, you know, mentioning names, but I definitely saw comments of players who, quite frankly, they probably sucked at the game, trying to say, like, oh, they could play so much better or something like that, the way they're critiquing these guys. But that's besides the point. The fact is, Kabam, they're hosting this tournament. And even though it wasn't exactly an invitational thing, players had to qualify for it, Kabam is still hosting this tournament. And they should make sure, they should do everything that they possibly can to make sure that the players involved in their tournament are painted in the absolute best light possible. Anything that could have been Kabam's fault should have been admitted on the spot, should have been explained to the viewers. And instead, what happened is they kind of just left Wareham out there, hung out to dry to take the L, while Kabam, yeah, they admit to it and in this forum post after the fact, but how many people just watch the tournament versus the players that are going to seek out this information and realize, oh, there was a bug, and actually Wareham, you know, he would have crushed that fight. Most people probably just watch the, you know, the YouTube episode and that's it, you know. I could go on about this because I also feel the same way about the way that the nodes were designed, that they weren't designed with the players in mind. They weren't designed to allow players to show off their abilities and skills. The way that all the power gain was there with the fully unblockable specials and everything like that. The way that actually takes away strategy and takes away the ability to even dex these unblockable specials with how many times the opponents got to their special 3s. Could go on about that, but I mean, I think I've said enough. I could talk about that for an entire hour in itself, but we got to move on here. The triple whammy cherry on top is they even misspelled his name up here, man. Like, come on, couldn't even get that right. They did spell it right down here at least, where rim, but up here it's where worm. Which led to all kinds of confusion throughout the matches, as you heard different names being thrown around, and just really unfortunate, man. Stuff like this just needs that little bit of extra quality to it that was just lacking. This was the first match. You can see at the very bottom of the screen here, they were 0-0 going into this, but due to that loss on Wareham's side and I'm Bled taking the victory there, I'm Bled actually went on in the second round of their match to cleanly win that fight, leading to a 2-0 victory, where, that was the end of match 1. So let's move on to match 2 now, where this is going to be Happy McMuffins versus I'm Bled. And up first, we have Happy using Black Widow Clairvoyant against the new Scarlet Witch. And it's a pretty rough fight, but let's go ahead and watch it here.
The arena here, but yeah, I agree the Kingpin could be pretty good here. Ooh,
it's tough because of the unblockable specials. Like, it's so hard to evade this.
Power healer, great dex. Ooh, just clicked by the end of it. That is not an easy special to dex by any means.
Tons of power gain from Spite, and then also the unblockable specials. Just those two things combined. If you can't dex this special, which, I mean, look at this thing, man. The first hit you could evade, but dang, that was it. That was a wrap right there. So, got Scarlet Witch down to 76%. That was the score to beat, or so I thought when I was watching this. But let's actually tune in to the next fight, which I already have underway here. I'm Blet is using Thing versus Happy McMuffin's Mangog. And what was that score against? 76%. So as I'm watching this thing, I'm thinking, all we got to do is get Mangog down to 76%, and the round goes to I'm Blet. And we can see here the damage starting to really, go in there. And there it is. There it is. He's below that threshold, down to 69%. Looking pretty rough shape here, like things about to get knocked out, but maybe you could get some more damage in. Let's see. No, man, that special 3 is gonna do it. Let's fast forward a little bit here. That is that, man. KO. But hey, down to 69% compared to 76%. So a solid 7% difference there. Let's actually hear how this one is scored, though. Let's see.
Rough to deal with. Great showing by Blair, though. He got a good amount of health out there, but yeah, looks like Happy's gonna take this series.
Happy's gonna take this series. Again, no disrespect whatsoever to Happy, but what? There's no way. How? I mean, I know how because of the fight duration. We have a longer duration over here, so only getting 1647 points on the side of Thing versus Mangog, and then a 43-second duration fight, much faster, awarding a ton more points, more than double the amount of points for getting knocked out faster. It's man. It's so frustrating to see. It's incredibly frustrating to see. So, this I believe was actually, this was the second match. You could see down at the bottom here, it was already 1-0 in favor of Happy. Happy did cleanly take the first fight, very much so, dominated the first round of the match between Happy and I'm Blet. But then this one, this should have went on to a round 3. And that's the thing. We didn't get a round 3 here. We didn't get a round 3 in the first match that I showed you. In my opinion, both of these are currently sitting at 1-1, and we don't know who would have won the third match. But we're not done yet. So the third match of the Americas semifinals here, Happy McMuffins versus Wareham. At this, there's only 3 matches in the entire day, up to 3 rounds within each match, but 3 matches. And we're on the third match here, and guess what's gonna happen? Well, let's go ahead and watch the fight play out.
Here we get in match 1, Void versus Ebony Maw.
Void versus Ebony Maw, and actually this is really interesting because both players are going to be using Void offensively. Happy has to take on Ebony Maw, and Wareham has to take on Domino. 2, pretty tough fights. So let's listen to it and see how it plays out.
Swinging.
Oh, he gets caught with it. Okay,
Ooh, that's special too.
Yeah.
Survives it though.
Luckily,
oh yeah, good thing.
The timing was a little bit luckier here than the previous time we saw that one happen.
Getting some of that damage over time,
yeah,
working.
But that still took off a major chunk.
No,
that's it though.
Again.
Woo! Okay. Let's back that up real quick. Let's see the final results
chunk.
here.
No, he gets clipped again.
Okay, 79% on that one. Okay. So as I'm watching this, again, this is the first match in this round. The first fight in this round, I should say. Void versus Ebony Maw. And I'm seeing that 79% number. This is the only score that we have to go by while actually watching. We can see the timer here, but as an audience, we don't know what this timer translates to. Players know health bars, right? And as much as I am in favor of Kabam changing up scoring methods to put the emphasis on other things, this ain't it. This damn sure ain't it. But 79%, that's what I'm thinking. Let's see how this one plays out. Void versus Domino.
All right, so the Domino matchup here is going to be really tough to deal with. Oh, and he gets an intercept right off the bat. That's tough stuff.
This is a tough fight.
Yeah, that is a tough
because
one,
your
man.
debuffs can fail to apply.
This was very unlucky.
That
with it.
debuff
Yeah,
stuck.
Absolutely.
Unlucky there, so he's got to be careful.
Okay, Domino through the special. Sometimes she's very stingy with specials.
Does he go for the special one? He does. Okay,
that debuff stuck as well.
Nice. He's getting more debuffs. He's slowly getting that.
This next one did not, though. There was supposed to be a third debuff there, but failed to trigger on Domino.
10% more, and he's got this one rounded out.
You hear the commentator? Hold on. That was important. Let me back it up real quick here. They said like 10% more, and he's got the fight wrapped up, right? Let's listen again.
Now. Okay, he's getting closer. He just has to eke out a little bit more. 10% more, and he's got this one rounded out.
10% more, he's got this one round out. Just has to eke out a little bit more, right? Okay, let's continue.
Let's see.
Yep. And I'm hoping he doesn't catch any of that critical failure here.
Yeah, no kidding. And hopefully he doesn't catch any specials either. But he's looking pretty good. Oh, he gets clipped. Oh,
that damage
on that last piece
not
there.
Too bad,
but he does get that reverse intercept. Very, very nice.
No petrify, so this special has to come out.
Wow, great sidestepping here. Oh no, Texas a little too early.
He doesn't do it on the wall. And that bleed is looking gross.
Oh my god, this is so close. Wow, that bleed is just gonna...
Dude, the adrenaline using the special gave a little bit of adrenaline. Let's back that up real quick. You see how the health is missing right here? But watch, Void's about to use that special one while being ticked down by the bleed, and the adrenaline's going to heal just enough in order to survive for just another second.
This is so close. Wow, that bleed
Look at that, man. Getting Domino down to 78%. What a fight, man. This was one of the closest fights, the closest rounds of any of these matches here. But this should go to Wareham, right? We already know. You already know. You already know where this is going to go. Let's see it, though.
Tick him down? Okay, so that was really, really close.
It goes to Happy McMuffins.
I think we're going to have to look at the stats to see who came out on that one. Really close there. Both of them getting down to 0.3% defender difference. So
let me hide my face so you guys can see the 0.3% difference that was just talked about. So it was 78% actually. 78% for Void versus Domino compared to 78.3% health remaining on Maw. So again, Domino had lower health. And you'd think that, you know, having to stay alive that whole time, playing the fight very well, you'd think that wouldn't backfire against Wareham here, but no, it does. And, you know, Happy takes this one. This is actually the first match in their series. Hold on, I just want to see if there was anything else said in the commentary.
On their HP, but it does look like Happy just squeaks out the win. So great job there on round one. And yeah, let's see what they've got next in the picks phase.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. So round two, though, just going to kind of fast forward a little bit here. So that was round one. So in my opinion, should have started out as a 1-0 lead for Wareham, but it starts out as a 1-0 lead for Happy. And then Happy puts up a great performance against Mangog, takes Mangog down to 1%. You know, almost defeats him, but still really good considering there were hardly any solos throughout the entire tournament. There was very few solos in total. And then in response to that, Wareham is using Luke Cage against Sasquatch, which is basically an unwinnable fight due to how much healing Sasquatch has. And even with stacking up debuffs, it's just so hard when you have to bait out specials, and the debuffs from Luke Cage don't last that long. But Wareham still does a great job and got Sasquatch down to 34%. Let's just see the results here real quick.
Let's see what we got. Yeah,
Oh,
the timeout.
timeout.
Wow, two
Yeah.
really close
Timed
matches
out.
here. Amazing stuff from both players, but it does look like Happy McMuffins will take this round and the series.
That's that. And that's how things ended. And again, man, it's just it's so hard to talk about the tournament without feeling like I'm sort of stepping on someone's victory here, because I really do think that Happy played phenomenally, man. I think he's super strong, like such a good player. If you check out his YouTube channel, which I highly recommend, he's got some incredibly skillful fights on the channel. So this was no fluke. This was, but still, at the end of the day, like, we needed to see match 3s happen. Every single one of these matches was a 2-0 victory when it should have been 1-1 and then a match 3 decider to see who would have went on. And we don't know how those matches would have played out. And the way that the way that these were actually scored, in my opinion, it does undermine the integrity of a tournament when the fights that were actually better, the fights that every single person in MCOC, without looking at the scores, if you ignore the scores and just look at the fights themselves, you would say, oh yeah, you can tell who won just because of the health remaining. You even heard the commentators say it. Just got to get 10% more. That's it, right? Because that's what we know. That's what we as players know. And again, I am extremely open to the idea of having different scoring metrics and stuff like that. I love that idea. I've been asking for the longest time. There's a video on my channel that goes back like 4 years or something like that, where I was asking for exactly that, where what determines the winner of the fight doesn't always have to be like the damage dealt. But this was not the way to go about it, man. This was just a really poor oversight, in my opinion. That should have never happened. This whole fight duration thing. This should have been a tiebreaker, only if you lost the fight and didn't have any health left, and the opponents, they had the exact same amount of health remaining. It's always worked that way in the past. It's always been that tiebreaker. The fact that it played out this way was just frustrating, man. It was just frustrating because I want the best for this mode, and this is far from the best. There's a lot more that I could say about the tournament. I just want to maybe touch on a few of these things real quick. Minor stuff like the face cams not lining up, so we didn't actually get any live reactions. That would have been nice to see. But then we come to the more major things like the node selection and how it was designed in such a way that it was an absolutely awful viewing experience. And I don't want to be too harsh on this because the game mode is still new and everything, but this is like a fundamental of a viewing experience. You want to see some back and forth in the match, and the way these nodes were designed, where they just had all this power gain, either the opponent got to a special 3 or the strategy was to limit the opponent from gaining any power at all. Just these very one-sided interactions. There was no back and forth throughout the fights. Most fights, at least. We did get a few of those, and those fights were lovely to see. That's how you create a competitive game mode, is you make it watchable, and that will bring in more people. That'll make more people want to compete, more people want to play the game, more people want to prove themselves, and I really want to see this game mode take off. I don't want it to be another situation like, Alliance War, where yeah, some people are into it, but so many people just could not care less about it. I want the people who even are not into the game mode itself to still be able to enjoy watching others play it, still be able to learn something from it about champions, since we're going to get to see different champions and different interactions. I want this to be MCOC. I want to talk more about this, but I want to talk about it in a more of an open dialogue during streams and stuff like that. So We can start with the comments though. Leave a comment with your thoughts on how the tournament was, what you liked about it, what you disliked. I guess I should quickly mention some of the things I liked. I liked the commentators. I think they did a great job explaining the fights, breaking things down. I like that this is just something new, something different for the game. I like that even though it was difficult to watch at times, I still wanted to come back and finish watching the tournament, see how it played out compared to, you know, last year's, which, I mean, I barely tuned into a small portion of it just because I didn't really care. The way it was set up, you know, this is a huge improvement over last year's. I feel like, yeah, the devs are getting there, and eventually, as long as they focus on some of these things, the game mode will be good. So, thank you all very much for watching. Again, leave your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.